The first sign was the sky. It wasn't just gray, not like a normal storm. It was a churning, bruised purple, a color that felt wrong, unnatural. And then the lights appeared. Not lightning, not planes. They were pinpricks of crimson that bled across the clouds, casting an eerie, hellish glow over our quiet little street. We all stood there for a moment, mesmerized by the terrible beauty of it, phones held up as if to capture proof of a miracle. But it wasn't a miracle. It was an ending. Sleek, black shapes against the blood-red sky, descending like spiders on invisible threads. Drones. Their single glowing red eyes pulsed with a cold, analytical light, sweeping across our homes, our yards, our lives. The silence broke. It shattered into 1,000 screams. People ran, scattering like ants from a disturbed hill. The drones followed, their red beams methodically scanning, searching. And then we realized what they were looking for. They weren't targeting the adults. They were hunting the children. Chaos erupted. Parents grabbing their kids, pulling them from swing sets, yanking them out of sandboxes. Doors slammed, windows were shuttered, but it was no use. The drones were relentless. They phased through walls, their metallic bodies shimmering for a second before solidifying inside. They were like ghosts, unstoppable and utterly terrifying. I saw Mr. Henderson from down the street try to fight one with a baseball bat. The drone didn't even flinch. The red beam touched his daughter, Jenny, and she just floated. Lifted into the air, her face a mask of confusion, not even fear yet. And then she was gone, pulled up into the churning sky. I grabbed my son Leo, his small hands sweaty in mine. He was only 7. He didn't understand. He just knew to be scared. "Mommy, what's happening?" He whimpered, his face buried in my side. I couldn't answer. I didn't know. All I knew was the primal, all-consuming need to protect him. We ran. We ducked into the labyrinth of alleyways behind the houses, the stench of garbage and damp concrete filling my lungs. The screams were fading behind us, replaced by a more terrifying sound, the low electronic hum of a nearby drone. We pressed ourselves against a brick wall, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. Leo was shaking, his silent sobs vibrating through me. I held him tighter, whispering reassurances. I didn't believe myself. "It's okay, baby. Mommy's here. I won't let anything happen to you." A lie. A desperate, hopeful lie. The hum grew louder. A red light spilled into the alley's entrance, painting the grimy walls in its predatory glow. We were trapped. There was a dumpster at one end and the drone at the other. Nowhere to go. The drone drifted slowly towards us, its red eye fixed on Leo. I could feel its scan, a cold digital caress that made my skin crawl. It wanted my son. Over my dead body, my eyes darted around, frantic. To my right, a small, dark opening in the foundation of the building, a crawl space, barely big enough for a child. It was our only chance, our only hope. I looked at Leo, his wide, terrified eyes staring up at me, reflecting the crimson light. In that single, heartbreaking moment, a decision was made, choice that wasn't a choice at all. I pushed him towards the opening. "Leo, listen to me. You have to hide in there. Don't make a sound. No matter what you hear, no matter what happens, you stay there until it's quiet. Do you understand?" He started to cry, to shake his head. "Oh, Mommy, I want to stay with you. You can't." I said, my voice harsher than I intended, softened it, cupping his face. "I love you more than anything in this world. Be brave for me. Be my brave boy." I kissed his forehead, a final, desperate press of my lips against his skin, trying to pour all the love I had for him into that one touch. I shoved him gently into the crawl space. He scrambled in, disappearing into the shadows. I turned back, just as the drone's red beam locked onto me. It paused, confused for a second. It had been tracking the boy, and now I was in its path. I stood up tall, straightened my shoulders, and met its unblinking red eye. I made myself a target. I made myself the only thing it could see. Let it take me. Let it do whatever it was going to do, as long as he was safe. In my mind, I saw Leo's face, his smile, the sound of his laughter. I held on to that, a shield against the terror. The beam intensified, and a strange, weightless feeling washed over me. My feet lifted from the ground. The alleyway, the grimy bricks, the overflowing dumpster, it all began to recede below me. I looked down one last time towards the dark opening in the wall. I couldn't see him, but I knew he was there. I hoped he was listening. I hoped he was being brave. A single tear tracked a path down my cheek as I was pulled faster and faster towards the blood-red sky. My final thought wasn't of fear or anger or despair. It was just a name. In the suffocating darkness of the crawl space, the little boy held his breath. He had done what his mommy told him. He was being brave. He pressed his face against the cold, damp earth, his small body trembling. He had seen it all through a crack in the foundation. He saw his mother stand up, saw the red light swallow her. He saw her disappear into the sky. He squeezed his eyes shut, but the image was burned onto the inside of his eyelids. The low hum of the drone faded away, and the terrifying red light that had painted his world was gone, leaving only the deep, impenetrable black. He didn't move. He didn't make a sound. He just lay there, a silent 7-year-old orphan in the ruins of his world, as hot tears streamed down his face, soaking into the dirt. The quiet was louder than any scream had been,